A pleasure to have you rejoin us on Good Morning Nigeria. Let's now take a look at what the papers are saying.
Well, Chukwudi Okuli Waja is here with us on Good Morning Nigeria. Chuks, good morning.
Good morning, Demo. How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
You're looking great as well. Hello, Victor.
Good morning.
Morning.
Chuks the man.
How are you doing?
I'm all right.
Killjoy.
You changed it from boy to man.
Don't mind him.
He's grown ever
Didn't
since.
you hear? Killjoy.
He's grown. Anyway, let's see what the papers are saying, and we'll begin with the People's Daily, which leads with the story, halt planned telecom tariff increase now, reps tell FG. And you can get details of that story on page 5. Okay, above that headline, Senate queries police over 3,907 arms missing in Armory. That one is on page 3. And just after that, 580 kidnap, other suspects arrested in Kaduna, page 5. And at the bottom of the People's Daily, the front page, PDP NWC dismisses purported suspension of party's BOT chairman, Senator Wabara. Okay? And the last set of boxes just at the very bottom of the the front page of the People's Daily. Dangote Refinery reduces diesel litre price by 55 naira, page 20. Reps ask FG to declare state of emergency on fake products, page 4. NUC reviews upward application fees for establishment of private varsities. That's on page 4. And finally, FG reaffirms Tinubu's commitment to economic growth, infrastructural development. That one is on page 4. And that takes us to the New Telegraph, which has just above the nameplate, tariffs. FG earns 1.08 trillion naira from non-oil export processing charges. And that story continues on page 3. And in the black strip, just between this story and the nameplate, ATM charges. CBN introduces new transaction fees, page 25. And after the nameplate, Anambra Guba, INEC seeks security agencies support to combat vote buying, page 6. Minister UAE sign amended Air Pact, Airpeace Inks. Okay, let me take that again. Minister UAE sign amended Air Pact, Airpeace Inks interline deal with Emirates. And that's on page 2. Rabia PDP ESCO suspends BOT chair Wabara, cites anti-party activities. And the rather purported suspension null and void. That's according to the PDP. And to the major headline here, power will return to you in 2031, Ganduje tells Northerners. Assures Tinubu of second term. That story is on page 2. And the story is just to the right of the photo story that we have here. Tinubu instructs FG's takeover of Nok University, directs Education Minister to capture institution in 2025 budget, page 27. Nigeria ranked 140th of 180 in 2024 corruption index. FG sets up National Anti-Corruption Strategy Committee. That story is on pages 3 and 6. Court orders forfeiture of 6.3 billion naira Keystone Bank shares to FGN, page 8. And at the bottom here, SMS price increases to 6 naira as telcos implement 50% tariff hike. Suspend hike, reps tell Minister NCC. That's on pages 3 and 4. Demola.
Yeah, thank you, Victor. I have the Daily Trust newspaper with me. Just below the nameplate, federal government suspends 4% levy on imports. Details on page 27. OIC meets over Trump's plan for U.S. takeover of Gaza. Details on page 4. Reps to begin debate on tax reform bills today. Details of that story can be found on page 12. And the headline reads, abductors of APC National Director demand 350 million ransom naira as General Sega remains in captivity 1 week after. Details of that can be found on page 4. Then we have the Nigeria gains point as Transparency International ranks country 36th most corrupt country. Report shows Tinubu's government making progress. That's from the presidency. Details of that story can be found on page 3. Federal government to crash food prices through investments. Minister. Details on page 12. Then we have Tinubu will seek re-election. North must wait till 2031. Ganduje. Details on page 14. Chooks.
Yeah, thank you, Demola. The regime of tariffs, tariffs have been popularized by the man in the Oval Office. The banks are laying it on. The telcos are saying, but I'm happy that the House of Reps also says, look, take it easy. Where is the money going to come from to pay for all these sundry fees? And they're coming to us like a thief in the night. The fees, and you don't want to begin to ponder how anyone would think that telecommunications, for instance, services are a luxury. They're not. There is that call you want to make at 12 midnight so that an ambulance could come over and take you to hospital. So it's a necessity. If it becomes unaffordable, it becomes a problem. Then the banks, of course, our Kingsley in those days will talk about unjustifiable, humongous, tariffs by the banks, the things they charge us. Sometimes you got tired of deciding what fee this one is.
Yes,
you understand?
And then the new ATM charges, I don't know, it's coming from all sides.
That's part of it. 100 naira or so?
Yeah, it's under the new rules, which will take effect from March 1, 2025. The customers withdrawing from their bank's ATMs, that's on us transactions, will continue to enjoy free withdrawals. But customers,
from their
if you are withdrawing from your own bank,
okay.
Now, but customers withdrawing from other banks' ATMs will be charged the 100 naira fee per 20,000 naira withdrawal at on-site ATMs. That's if the ATMs are located, within a banking premises. And for withdrawals from off-site ATMs, those outside of a bank premises, where customers not withdrawing from their bank's ATM will be charged the 100 naira fee plus a surcharge of not more than 500 naira per 20,000 naira withdrawal.
I think that is a further mystification of the process. It becomes a more mysterious.
Basically, they are saying don't withdraw from any other ATM that is not your bank.
For us as consumers, we are not interested in whether Jonah swallowed the fish or the fish swallowed Jonah. All we know is that there's a swallow, according to one pastor who went comic on the pulpit. We say these fees are becoming too tiring. You don't even know where to start from. It doesn't make sense, Now, the argument people are making concerning some of the services that are coming from, let's say, the GSM providers, the telcos, is that the rate at which the dollar is giving an uppercut to the naira makes nonsense of whatever earnings we think they are, we agree. But then, the little time I spent in the business admin class during the master's program, we were told that you cannot price yourself out of your market. They will abandon the goods. It's a reality in economics. You price yourself out of your market, people stop. Subscribe. Many people have stopped eating yams. They eat potato now. They shifted to the closest alternative. So these things are real in economics, you know.
And for those of us who don't like to patronize POS merchants, you can even expect that they will also go, you know, a notch higher.
Oh, they should.
Because what will be the incentive if they are going to be at the same level?
Now charging like 300 naira for 10,000
across the road here.
Yes.
You see, those of you who live in the metropolis, I
300
tell you,
naira
across the road
10,000.
here, I went to withdraw 10,000 and they told me I should give them 500. I said, no, the hinterland where I come from, it's not more than 200. How can you justify it? They said the kind of rent they pay there is not the rent we pay here.
I do everything possible to avoid POS.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, how do you manage to avoid POS?
You just think ahead. If you know you are running low on cash, go get
Planning.
it. Don't wait until you are pressed.
But you see the problem,
and then you have nowhere else to run.
So Victor, the problem there actually is that most of the banks, ATMs don't even dispense the cash any longer.
But they do.
You get there, you find out that you slip your card in, and they will tell you that it's not dispensing cash. Just move to the POS.
Sometimes,
most of the time,
my bank does. I'm lucky that my bank is close by, so I just if it comes to that, I walk in.
Lucky man. His bank is in his kitchen.
I walk in. I walk into the bank.
What's wrong with
I just go ahead and make sure I'm not, in a position where I don't have a choice.
You made that point. Plan ahead. What is wrong with APC? And I don't like talking politics because I don't ever understand politicians. But for the national chairman of the APC to tell Northerners, wait till 2031 before you begin to vie for power there, I don't understand. We are barely into 2 years of governance, and people are already. It's not. Somebody said, development takes over when elections end, or should take over when election ends. Why do we carry over politics into even the time they should be implementing projects for us?
That's not the case here in Nigeria, because the moment you get into power, after about a year, you're still planning. You just start planning for the next election.
That's not right.
It's not right. We all know, but
it's immoral.
That's what we have here.
It doesn't help you perform the pledge, keep the pledge to the electorate, because you're distracted in the main.
That's why some people are canvassing for a 7-year term, so that it will allow them to be able to do the work.
Nigerians will introduce some more bottlenecks. A spanner will be thrown into the works. We are always productive in terms of, may God help us, if we can help ourselves, that is. It's not really right. The Senate is querying police over how many arms did you say are missing in the armory?
3,907.
The other time, the National Security Advisor Nuhu Ribadu went emotional, rarely emotional, when he started raining curses on those who are taking our arms, people in uniform, and giving them to insurgents, bandits, and terrorists. And we said, some of us thought Nuhu Ribadu is trying to please his master and all that. You can hear the Senate querying it now.
No, but
the point is this: how many people do we hear got court-martialed over missing arms? Whatever the punishment is for whatever branch of the security forces is concerned.
That's where I was going, because it's not about being emotional. It's not about raining curses. It's about checking it.
Thank you, Victor.
It's about checking
Why
it.
is the system so porous? as porous as
if this
segments,
thing misses from here
portions of
tomorrow
our
morning,
borders.
if this thing misses from here tomorrow morning, we will know.
That's the big question, and that is what we are focusing on Good Morning Nigeria today.
Incidentally, have a good ride.
Thank you, Chooks.